when you look at that entire area, that little zoom window is gone in the street view. It's not till you do a 180 and you're looking away that it comes back. So it's a little weird that you can't even zoom into any of it, which would add a little credence to this theory of, well, maybe something's still going on.
Yeah, but the thing about it is if they still got stuff going on, then why go to the hassle of having, like guys sneaking around the woods with guns when you can just keep it in your own possession, not turn it over to the public, not have the public walking around, still have your fences and armed guards saying, hey, military base, you can't come in. And there's nothing suspicious about that.
But you have to you've got to do some kind of upkeep. And if you give it to the state say, the state, this is your park, you've got to maintain it. But by the way, keep your little cretins out of this area, and we'll just have a little contingent walking around patrolling it to keep people away, because, people get on foot and they wander around, they have no idea, so they're scurrying they're making sure everybody scurries away from it.
I guess my other thing for the keeping it a base would be exactly what you were saying earlier with the populated area thing, where I think, when they initially made Camp Hero, Long Island was not nearly as populated as it is now. So keeping something secret and operational as a publicized Air Force base is much harder. It'd be like trying to do something on the Air Force base, or I guess it's the Air Force Reserve or whatever. It's, down by the Portland airport. You drive right past it, and it's kind of a secluded area. But if there was weird stuff going on, people would know, just because people kind of live around. So I guess there's some kind of, I see both arguments.
I still think if you're that paranoid about secrecy, just move out to the desert somewhere out west.
But that's the problem, is that there's all kinds of installations that were out in the middle of nowhere, were built up. You know about the here in Portland, out on the east side, there's in Beaverton, or west side in Beaverton, there's the monkey farm. You know about the monkey farm.
Yeah.
The what?
The monkey farm. There's this place that is a primate facility. And it is in the middle of Beaverton, which folks who aren't from here don't know is a very populated, very urbanized area. And there's a lot of people driving around and living in that area. And I worked on a campus that was directly next to it. I mean, property lines intersected, and I'd be in the parking lot and you could hear the monkeys.
Was it the OHSU facility?
I don't think it is. It might be, but the point is they built that thing a long time ago and kept adding on to it. So they sunk a lot of money into infrastructure to build this facility, and they want it. Let's just say they're doing nefarious things, because we would hear monkeys yelling all the time.
Well,
and then they're doing strange things there. Well, you can't just pick that all up and move, because that's really expensive.
Yeah.
So instead, you just say it's one thing while you do another.
Yeah, you can do that, but at the time they started this facility, I mean, New York and like just north of there is Connecticut, another very populous place. It was already very, very densely populated. Back in the 40s or 70s or whenever they started this. So, I mean, they didn't have to invest a dime in it. They could have just gone somewhere else.
But it was also, I remember in reading, they went there because it was right on the coast. So it was easy to bring everything in by boat, load it up, and haul it however far, a couple of miles at the most, onto the camp.
That far.
And so it's easy. It's
via
easy.
secret submarine.
Your secret submarine base.
Submarine base, because frankly, I've looked the island over that end of the island over fairly carefully, and I saw nothing resembling wharves or docks or anything like that. So, it's going to have to be the secret submarine base.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
So that's the story of the monk.
This is when we're actually going to have to postpone solving this one. I'm sure we have at least several listeners in New York. And so what we
do not suggest something that is going to get people arrested, Joe.
It won't get them arrested.
Please.
Well, if this is all true, it's not going to get them arrested. It's going to get them shot. So get your asses out there. If you can, if you rent like one of those little Kubota things, those diggers, and like those little earth mover things, and just do some digging out there.
You know what is actually a really huge fine?
Yeah.
digging up state parks.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
pretty illegal.
Okay.
Even just digging in a state park. I mean, it's one thing if there is a secret base there. It's I mean, even if there's not, it's a pretty hefty fine.
I would rather have a crew of LARPers dress up as SG-1 crew and go running through the park and see if they can blend in and get into the site than have them start digging up so that if they can see, they can find the first level of the underground base.
I just want to see what the signs say. The Google signs that are blurred out. I have a feeling it's nothing nefarious. I
think it's probably innocuous.
Hey, you can't drive past here. No vehicular traffic past this point.
It's a huge sign with it looks like a lot of text on it.
Probably says state park, and here's all many rules and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's probably a giant rule list.
All of our state parks are like that. There's all kinds of signs and tons of rules and all
I just want to know.
Everything else.
So, what's your favorite thing that might have or may not have happened at the Montauk?
The favorite theory
project.
Or what?
Yeah, I guess I'm not willing to call these theories necessarily, just
suppositions,
things that might have happened there. What's your favorite thing that might have happened there?
I really do like the guys that could make things materialize, and the guy makes the Yeti pop out of nowhere and he tears the place apart.
Pretty good.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Steve?
Okay, are we going for favorite for fun?
Fun, why not? We very rarely do favorite for fun.
For favorite for fun?
I'm sorry, Joe may need to append his.
It's okay. I kind of like the theory that Al and his buddy Mr. Cameron had, where they were lost in time, because it makes me think there's been a number of movies of military men from the 40s who go into the freezer cooler and wake up in the 80s.
Oh, you mean Captain America?
Yeah, stuff like that. And he's saying that, I think it's Al was saying that he had no recollection of ever working at the Montauk Project, and then people who knew the project, I might be misremembering the person. It might not be Al.
I can't remember either.
There was somebody who said somebody who said they had no memory of working at Montauk, and then people who worked there were like, "Hey, totally recognize you." No, I don't know you, until to the point that he got really upset, and then suddenly the memories started coming back.
That was the guy who said there were microchips in his brain.
Is that who said that?
I don't remember his name, but yeah.
Oh, see, I couldn't remember if it was him or the guy who could make things materialize.
I think it was
mind.
Microchip, dude. That might even be the same person. For all
because
I can remember, I gotta be honest.
Then you're living a double life. Mm-hmm. It's pretty awesome.
On accident.
Yeah, it's kind of a Neo situation.
That would
the red pill or the blue pill,
or both. You
just took them both.
Why
so
not?
We're just gonna mix them, see what happens.
Just have fun.
Wouldn't it be a weird way for the movie to go? The Matrix, if he was like, I'll just take them both.
I'll wake up inside the Matrix, but forget everything I ever knew.
What about the? So which pill was it? The red pill where he goes down the rabbit hole?
Yeah.
What if he taken the blue pill? There's the end of the roll.
Rolls credits. Yeah.
No, the next hour and a half is him in his office, just
coding,
working,
coding.
Or no. It's like he's going about his business, and he keeps running into what's his name?
Morpheus.
Yeah, he keeps running into Morpheus, and Morpheus says, "Are you sure you don't want to take the red pill?" And
dude, why are you always trying to give me drugs? Are you trying to get me fired? I gotta take a pee test tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. He's at the Starbucks, and suddenly Morpheus sits down, and he's like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!" Actually, that's a movie that needs to be made.
I think this is awesome.
I was just going to say that my favorite theory is Nikola Tesla, but I guess the Matrix is more interesting.
No, I like Tesla.
I like that Tesla was the director of operations there.
Yeah, Tesla pops up in a lot of stuff.
I like the director, the director of operations, that's a very specific, they weren't like, hey, he was in charge of the place. They're like, this was his job title. It was director of operations, not chief of operations, not COO, right? Not like CEO, not like commander in operations or whatever you call, whatever you would do in the military. No, he was the director of operations.
It's a very specific title.
It is, which makes me. Nope. operations, which apparently facilities probably replies to, right? Or
Yeah.
reports to. But
Head park ranger.
I guess, director of operations, that leads some credence, right?
Oh, no, that makes the story totally credible.
Super plausible.
I got to be honest. Okay, I like the story. It's a lot of fun. Can I now say what my big problem with this project?
I guess.
It is, I think, Joe, you might have mentioned this earlier, is this story is a prime candidate for people to just chew on. And I think that this is, and this is the hard part. Is like I kept reading it, trying to find, okay, where's some credible stuff? What can I try and track down that's really real instead of these fun anecdotal things?
So
and it's like watching, it's cracks in glass. It just keeps spreading, and you don't know where it's going.
It's confusing, and I think for a lot of these stories, you don't know if it's somebody. Maybe I've said this before. In fact, I'm sure I have. There's not people out there, people with an empty sense of humor on the internet who copy all this stuff over and then tack on a few things like, oh, let's have somebody materialize stuff out of thin air, using this power of his mind. And then that gets copied over by other people, and
there's a bunch of books that have been written on this place. I tried to track them down in my library, but unfortunately they don't stock them. Surprisingly, but I was really disappointed because I wanted to try and read some of this stuff to see what sources. Because Al, when I was listening to him, his sources were a friend in the government, a friend that I know. A friend in the military.
Guy driving a taxi.
Which is just not a credible source.
Not really.
And it's really difficult to get a good handle on it.
Yeah, so that's kind of why I attacked this story the way that I did.
Which is probably the best way to do it.
With this whole, there's this one kind of anecdotal thing that you there's no hard evidence for.
There's no hard evidence for any
of it. But at least there's some stories from, it seems, different points of view, and whether that's just different people writing it or whatever, it seems that at least people are lying to substantiate the evidence or the anecdotal evidence versus one dude says, oh yeah, AIDS was there, right? One dude says, oh, by the way, Men in Black trained there. I think that, so I wanted to kind of focus on this stuff that actually has at least a little substance to it, even if it's not good science or good evidence.
I don't think any of this stuff has any substance.
I think that there has got to be truth in some of this. I'm not saying what it is. So let's say the people who got chased off by men with guns, they were probably trespassing at night, and a park ranger came out and yelled at them, and they maybe were a little inebriated or something, and they saw he had a gun on his hip because he's a ranger, and they carry guns. A dude in a gun in the dark chased us off. I think that's how some of this starts, but really that's my biggest struggle is I think that there's something here. I just can't pinpoint it because there's just so much fluff around it.
Right, and I guess that's the big question for me that I'm left wanting is why did the government build this radar facility that was obviously about to be obsolete, right? They built it and it was obsolete. Why even spend all this money at this site to do this?
They're the government. That's kind of what they do.
Well, no, you got to remember that A, they're in the middle of the war. B, they move slow, and technology is cutting edge today, but it takes us a year and a half to build this huge thing. And in that time, we've had a bunch of scientists working and they figured out a better way to do it.
I guess
I can see how that happened.
This sort of project is I was talking about that submarine. They spent a lot of money on that particular project. There's all kinds of stuff like that where they don't go into service because they get superseded right away by something better.
Yeah.
But they still spend a ton of money and build a bunch of stuff.
Because it takes a long time to source it. Today, I can say, I want to build this. I can draw it on a computer. I can send it to a vendor. A vendor can drop that plan into a machine. The machine laser cuts it out, and boom, it's done.
Yeah.
But 50 years ago, I had to draw it all by hand. I had to write out all my specs. The dude had to get it, had to figure it out, had to teach his guys how to cut it and how to file it, and it took months to make that one part.
Yeah.
That one widget took so long to make that it's understandable why these things, by the time they get them made, just are useless.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. So I guess that would be my only kind of question mark with this whole thing. But
yeah, no, I mean, if there is something there, that would point to one obvious thing, which is the parties who are creating all this gobbledygook around this thing, and there's just an incomprehensible mishmash of tall tales surrounding this thing. That party would have to be the government, men in black, or the ones who are doing it.
Yeah, right. To create confusion and chaos.
Confusion and basically negate credibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well.
So the mere fact that this thing is so ludicrous must mean
that
the government's involved.
Yeah.
It's Will Smith's fault.
It is.
Yeah.
Welcome to Earth.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it.
Well, we solved that one quick.
So links and pictures on the website. That website is thinkingsidewayspodcast.com. You can listen to us there. You can listen to this or other episodes there. You probably have just finished listening to this episode somewhere.
Or
so
maybe you didn't finish listening to it, so you're not even hearing this at all.
So if you don't listen to it there, you can check us out on iTunes. If you do check us out on iTunes, please leave a comment and a rating. We really like getting those. I'm liking all of the Fallout references everyone's making. I appreciate that. You can also stream us directly off Stitcher if you forget to download before you head out into the wild green yonder.
Before you head over to Long Island and do some digging.
Yeah, man. You can check us out on Facebook. We have both a page that you can like and a group you can join. There's some interesting discussion that happens around there from our devoted fans. And you can, if you do go out to take a picture of these signs, or you are Nikola Tesla, just send us an email. The email address is thinkingsidewayspodcast@gmail.com. We love to hear from you.
As much as I want Nikola Tesla to send us an email, I really feel bad for his great-grandchild who's going to have to show him how to do that. Great-grandpa, this is how you click the button to send the email.
No, Nikola Tesla would...
Yeah.
He invented the internet, probably.
Probably.
He's actually Steve Jobs, too.
Or he was Steve Jobs.
He was.
Now he's fake Steve Jobs.
Now he's gone. He's
Bill
moving
Gates.
to the next person, yeah. So I guess that's it.
Special request, any of our listeners that tend to go to military surplus auctions, and I know there's at least some of you out there, keep your eyes peeled for a titanium pyramid. Probably
50 foot tall.
Yeah, 50 feet tall. You could probably pick it up for $10-20.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Could be a good deal.
Yeah, and we'll buy it back from you for twice what you paid for it.
We will.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So on that note, I guess we're going to head out of here. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, toodaloo. And don't forget to tune in next week for our anniversary episode.
Bye, everybody.
Ta-ta.
Are you sure it's next week? You sure it wasn't this week?
I'm pretty sure it's this week. We missed it, guys.
Unless the space-time bubble burst, I think we're okay.
That's what it was.
That's the problem.
Thinking Sideways.
I don't understand.
Does not compute.
You never know.
Insufficient data to formulate a reply. What?
Stories of things we simply don't know the answer to.
Hi there. Welcome again to another episode of Thinking Sideways. I'm Joe, joined by...
Devin.
And
Steve.
And tonight we're going to tackle another mystery. And this is actually, this is kind of a cool little mystery, and it's one that I had never even heard about until about 5 days ago. So, I mean, most of the ones that are out there, we've all heard about them, right? But,
Yeah, most
Yeah,
of
this
it. But
one-
yeah, I'd never... This was new to me.
there's more than airplanes involved with this whole thing.
I know.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about the Mull Air Mystery. That's Mull as in M-U-L-L, the Isle of Mull in Scotland. Actually in the Hebrides. I guess that's what they call those.
Sure.
All them islands out there. Okay, so our mystery concerns a guy named Peter Gibbs. Peter Gibbs was a professional musician who played the violin. He played with the London Symphony Orchestra, and later on he led the Scottish Symphony Orchestra. So this guy was a serious musician. He also flew fighter planes in World War II. He flew Spitfires and was considered an air ace. He flew for the RAF, the Royal Air Force. And after the war, he continued to fly private planes for the rest of his life, along with being a musician. Yeah, he liked flying.
Evidently.